Thank you. A couple of tough acts to follow. Mr. Mayor, members of council, my name is Marilyn Ginzburg, and I'm here speaking for the Grandview Area Residents Association, or GARA. I'm going to begin with a quote from Justice Felix Frankfurter of the United States Supreme Court. Wisdom too often never comes, so one ought not to reject it merely because it came late. I want to thank each of you on council who initiated and cooperated with the desire for greater disclosure and transparency regarding the Markham Arena. And I want to thank each of you who ultimately agreed to it. And I want to thank all of you for doing an excellent presentation tonight. I have to say that I have, for some time, admired the mayor's vision for Markham Center. And I think a lot of us have. And I hope you're not offended if people don't agree with it in its entirety. As you have heard from me before, I'm a big fan of the democratic process. It's not easy, it's often messy, but it beats the alternatives. Democracy thrives in the light of day. And when we are talking about any use of public funds, whether for a complicated business deal or not, it must withstand fully informed and detailed scrutiny in the light of day. My one additional introductory comment has to do with accountability. When we go to the polls, we elect you to represent us and to make tough decisions. Of course, you're entitled to, and you require the advice of staff. GARA has a great deal of respect for and a good working relationship for the people who work at the City of Markham. However, it is you who are accountable to us, and it is you who we expect to be ultimately in charge. We feel very strongly that the responsibility we have given you should not be exercised by anyone other than you. Now, the rules of engagement tonight are apparently that we are supposed to be addressing only the site plan components. I must admit that I find this puzzling. Why is the absence of adequate on-site parking suddenly at the top of our list of concerns? There are dozens of questions concerning the site plan proposals, and you know them as well as we do. Residents have been writing to you about them and expressing their concerns in emails and public meetings over the past few weeks. And I realize that the presenters tonight have made a valiant effort to address some of these concerns. However, the biggest objection that the residents and the ratepayer groups seem to have is that they don't want the City of Markham to borrow and invest many millions of dollars in a publicly, privately developed arena. They don't want the risk and the uncertainty that goes along with servicing a debt that size, especially over the years if the arena is not successful. I promise that I'm not sliding into a discussion of the financial structure, but I wanted to make the point that I think the focus of this meeting tonight is misguided. I'm going to read a passage from an email that I received in the past week, among the hundreds that have been exchanged. Although I did not receive it from the author of the quote, I hope that he does not mind my using it. The quote is from a former Commissioner of Planning and Chief Administrative Officer for the town of Markham. Quote, "The city has turned the whole process on its head by proposing to give site plan approval before first making detailed decisions about the nature and scope of the city's participation in funding the project. Site plan approval and the issue of public funding are inseparable because the project will not proceed without the guarantee of significant ongoing funding by the city," end quote. Of course, what he wrote is true. I think you all agreed that it was true yesterday when you declined to make a decision on site plan approval until there was more financial information, among other things, in front of you. So why are we being asked to make deputations only on the site plan when we also want more financial information? Gara has taken the position that we do not want the city to participate in the building of the arena using any public funds. It may be with further disclosure that we will change our position, since, as the mayor requested, we are trying to keep open minds. But in the meantime, what difference does it make that we think parking is inadequate or that projection for the use of public transit is unrealistic? In fact, if Gara makes a deputation on the site plan at this point, does it not imply that we are engaged in the process of helping you plan an arena that we don't want? We believe that this is a classic case of putting the proverbial cart before the horse. We do not want to assist in its planning, nor, at least at this time, do we consent to its construction. So having said all of that, we will leave others to comment on the site plan, and I know they will do an excellent job, as I have seen their work over the past several weeks and have been impressed with their knowledge and their dedication. In fact, even though some of you may not agree with the positions taken by your constituents, you should be proud of their desire to participate in the life of their community and to influence the direction that you, their representatives, take. I am proud of them, and I am proud of our little Markham spring. Democracy is democracy and needs voices everywhere. Once again, I'm proud of those of you who helped and those of you who ultimately allowed the fuller extension and expansion of freedom of information. I would be remiss if finally I did not also thank the representative of Remington who appeared before you yesterday to assure you that as far as the builder is concerned, there is no rush for site plan approval. We are grateful for this because it means that after full disclosure of all financial details and other reports, if members of the public and members of council are more favorably disposed towards the arena, there will be adequate time then to comment on site plan. Thank you.